Hello and welcome aboard. The carriage is warm and the rain has begun its soft rhythm against the window. Our journey through the quiet of the night is ready to begin. Find your comfortable place to rest. Settle in, and let the steady sound of the rails carry you away from the noise of the day. There is nothing else you need to do now. Just breathe and let the story unfold. The world has shrunk to the size of this carriage, to the space inside this window. Outside, the night is vast and deep, a velvet curtain drawn over the sleeping countryside. Inside, there is only the low, constant hum of the train, a sound that feels less like a noise and more like a vibration deep in the chest. It's a reassuring sound. The sound of steady movement, of a journey underway. Rain has begun to fall. It's not a storm, not a tempest, but a soft, persistent whisper against the glass. Each drop arrives as a gentle tap, a tiny messenger from the quiet dark. They cling for a moment, distorting the few lights that we pass, turning a distant farmhouse into a starburst of liquid gold. Then they surrender to gravity, merging with one another, tracing silver paths down the pane. I watch them, these little races, these brief lives of water on glass. They are born, they travel, they join a greater whole. It seems a fitting metaphor for a night like this. The rhythm of the wheels on the track is the journey's heartbeat. A steady, metronomic click-clack, click-clack. It's a sound that has carried millions of souls through countless nights just like this one. It speaks of distance, of closing the space between here and there. But on a night like this, the destination feels secondary. The point is not the arrival, but the state of being in between. Suspended, floating through the darkness in this small capsule of warmth and light. We slide through a small, forgotten station. Its name is painted on a weathered sign, but it passes too quickly for me to read. A single, lonely lamp post illuminates an empty wooden bench, slick with rain. The platform is deserted. No one is waiting to leave, no one is waiting to arrive. It's a stage for a play that has long since ended, or perhaps one that is yet to begin. I imagine the stories that bench could tell. The tearful goodbyes, the joyful reunions. The lonely traveler, just like me, who once sat there in the quiet of a different night, watching the rain and waiting for the low hum of an approaching train. For a moment, our lives overlap across time, connected by a single empty bench under a single lonely light. Then it is gone, swallowed by the darkness behind us. The carriage is dimly lit, creating islands of soft light in a sea of cozy shadows. Most of my fellow passengers are asleep. To my left, an elderly woman rests her head against the window, a fine knit shawl draped over her shoulders. Her face, softened by sleep, is peaceful. Her hands are folded loosely in her lap. Where is she traveling from? Where is she going? Perhaps she is returning from visiting a new grandchild, her mind a gallery of tiny smiles and the impossibly soft feel of a baby's hair. She is carrying that warmth back with her, a precious cargo that has nothing to do with the worn suitcase in the rack above her head. Or maybe her journey is a pilgrimage of another sort. Perhaps she is returning to the town where she grew up, a place she hasn't seen in 50 years. In her dreams, is she walking down familiar streets? Does she recognize the old oak tree in the town square, or the corner shop where she once bought sweets? Her journey is not just across miles of track, but across decades of memory. This train is carrying her not just to a place, but to a person she used to be. The gentle rocking of the carriage is like a cradle, rocking her back through time. The rain continues its soft percussion. It's a sound you can feel, a cleansing sound. It washes the world, leaving it fresh and new for the morning. It washes the mind, too, blurring the sharp edges of the day's worries. The steady drumming is a mantra. Let go, let go, let go. I look at my own reflection in the glass, a faint, translucent ghost superimposed over the fleeting landscape of dark trees and misty fields. It's a strange thing to see yourself in the world at the same time. The face looking back at me seems calmer than I feel, a stranger who has found a moment of peace. The train offers this anonymity. Here you are no one in particular. You are simply a traveler. Your stories, your triumphs, your regrets, they are all just quiet companions on the ride, sitting beside you in the dim light. They don't need to be spoken. They just need to be carried for a while. Further down the aisle, a young man sits alone, his head bowed, a book open on his lap. But he isn't reading. His eyes are closed and he is just listening. He has no headphones, so he must be listening to the same symphony as I am, the rhythm of the rails and the rain. I wonder what he hears in it. Does he hear the promise of a new beginning? Maybe he's moving to a new city for a job or for love. This train ride is the dividing line between his old life and his new one. Every click of the wheels is a step further away from the familiar, and a step closer to the unknown. There must be a flutter of excitement in his chest, and perhaps a touch of fear. But his face is serene. He has surrendered to the journey. He trusts the tracks to take him where he needs to go. The air in the carriage is warm and still. The gentle heat from the vents wraps around me like a soft blanket. It's a cocoon. Secure. Outside, the wind may be picking up, and the rain may be falling harder on lonely country roads. But in here we are sheltered. We are all moving together, a small, temporary community of silent dreamers. We share this space, this time, this gentle motion. We are strangers, yet we are bound by this shared experience, this slow passage through the night. My own thoughts begin to slow, their rhythm matching the train's. The endless loop of worries and plans that usually occupies my mind begins to quiet down. The track stretches on, straight and true through the darkness. There is nothing to do but be here. To breathe in, to breathe out. To listen to the rain. To feel the gentle sway. The world outside has become an abstraction. No longer fields and trees, but just shapes and shadows, a flowing canvas of dark grays and blacks. The lights are fewer and farther between now. We are moving through the deep country, the places on the map that lie between the named towns. The heart of the night. My eyelids feel heavy. The window seat that always makes me think is now making me sleepy. The reflections are becoming softer, the questions less important. The stories of the other passengers fade into the background hum. Their dreams and my dreams are beginning to merge with the train's own slow, mechanical dream of motion. The rain is a whisper now. The heartbeat of the wheels is a lullaby. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. A slow, steady rhythm pulling me down into slumber. The journey will continue whether I am awake or asleep. The train will keep moving, faithfully following its path through the dark. There is a deep comfort in that. A comfort in letting go, in trusting the journey, in allowing yourself to be carried. The window is cool against my forehead. The hum is all around me. The rain is a soft, final thought. Drifting now. Just drifting. Down, down, into the deep, quiet sleep that waits at the end of every long journey. The motion has become a part of me now. I no longer feel like a passenger on a train, but as though the train itself is an extension of my own body, its steady forward momentum a kind of slow, deliberate breathing. And out. The gentle sway is the rocking of a cradle, and the world outside is a dream drifting by. The rain has settled into a fine, hypnotic mist that clings to the window, blurring the line between the glass and the night. It softens everything it touches. The occasional security light of a remote farm becomes a fuzzy, haloed moon. The silhouettes of trees lose their sharp, skeletal edges and become soft, inky clouds against a charcoal sky. The world is being rendered in watercolor, its details washed away until only feeling remains. Tonight I am thinking about ghosts. Not the frightening kind, not the sort that rattle chains or haunt old houses. I'm thinking of the quiet ghosts. The ghosts of who we used to be. The faint, translucent afterimages of ourselves that linger in the places we have passed through. I am certain I have left a ghost of myself on a train just like this one many years ago. A younger version of me, full of a fierce, fragile optimism, staring out at the same dark fields, dreaming of a future that felt as vast and open as the night sky. That ghost is still there, on that long-ago train, forever on the verge of arriving, forever filled with a potential that had not yet been tested by time. I wonder if that younger me could see me now, what would they think? Would they recognize the person they were to become? Or would I be a stranger, softened and weathered by the intervening years, like a stone smoothed by a river? We are all collections of these ghosts. Every place we have loved, every room we have slept in, every path we have walked holds a faint echo of us. A train carriage, especially one moving through the night, feels like a place where those echoes gather. It is a transient space belonging to no one, and so it belongs to everyone, and to every version of everyone who has ever traveled within it. There is a man sitting a few rows ahead of me, his profile outlined by the dim emergency light at the end of the carriage. He's wearing a simple, well-worn coat. His head is bowed, and he's slowly turning a small, featureless object over and over in his hands. A worry stone, perhaps. Or a key to a door he can no longer open. Or maybe it's just a smooth, cool pebble he picked up from a beach somewhere, a small piece of a happier day he carries with him for comfort. I imagine his story. Perhaps he is a craftsman, a carpenter, or a watchmaker. His hands, even in their stillness, look capable and sure. He might be traveling home from a long week of work in the city, his body tired but his mind at peace, anticipating the quiet comfort of his own home. The object in his hand could be a small piece of wood he is absently smoothing, feeling the grain, his thoughts miles away, already unlocking his front door, smelling the faint scent of beeswax and old timber that fills his workshop. His journey is almost over. He is not running from anything or to anything. He is simply returning. A quiet, noble pilgrimage to the center of his own life. The train is his ally, the steady rhythm of the wheels a countdown to comfort, to rest. The train slows, its hum lowering in pitch, the click-clack of the wheels growing more distinct and deliberate. We are pulling into another station. This one is not entirely deserted. Under the yellow sodium lights, a lone figure stands with a suitcase at his feet. A young man barely out of his teens. He is not looking at the train, but up at the rainy sky, his face tilted as if he is trying to feel every drop. Who is he waiting for? Or what? Is he running away from home, the suitcase beside him holding all of his worldly possessions? Is there a note on his pillow and a broken heart in his wake? Or is he embarking on a great adventure, a student on his way to a new university, a musician on his way to his first real gig? He seems so still, so poised on the precipice of something. He is a story that has not yet begun. We, the passengers, are just a passing detail in the first chapter of his life. He will board a different train, heading in a different direction, carrying his own ghosts with him. We slide past him, our worlds touching for only a heartbeat, and then he is gone, a lonely figure on a wet platform receding into the past. My own memories surface, unbidden. A memory of my father teaching me how to skip stones across a lake. The way he'd find the perfect one, flat and round. The satisfying thwip it made as it left his hand, and the magic of watching it dance across the water's surface for 5-6 times before finally sinking. He told me that life was like that. You get a few good skips if you're lucky, a few moments of grace where you seem to defy gravity. The trick, he said, was to cherish the dance, not to mourn the sinking. The man with the stone in his hand makes me think of that. Maybe that's what we are all doing here in the quiet dark. We are holding on to our memories, our own perfect skipping stones, turning them over and over, feeling their smoothness, remembering the way they danced for a moment on the surface of the water. The train begins to pick up speed again, leaving the station and its lonely traveler behind. The rhythm returns, that deep, soporific hum. The landscape dissolves back into a formless, flowing dark. The inside of this carriage feels like a sanctuary now, a place out of time. The stories, the ghosts, the memories, they are not heavy. They are just companions. They are the quiet evidence of a life lived, of connections made and unmade, of journeys taken. My thoughts are like the mist on the window now, losing their form, blending into one another. The ghost of my younger self, the carpenter, the boy on the platform, my father by the lake. They are all here in the gentle rocking of the train. They are all part of the same quiet, flowing river. The warmth is seeping into my bones. My breathing is deep and slow. The need to make sense of things is fading, replaced by a simple acceptance. The sound of the wheels is no longer a sound, but a feeling. A slow, gentle pulse. Here and gone. Here and gone. A lullaby for ghosts. A song for travelers. A slow, steady descent into the soft, forgiving darkness of sleep. The journey continues without me. And that is perfectly all right. The rain has softened to a whisper, a fine mist that clings to the air itself, and the sound against the window is no more than the sigh of the world turning in its sleep. The darkness outside feels different now. Not empty but full. Full of a deep, resonant quiet. The train moves through it like a needle and thread, stitching one moment to the next, 1 mile to the next, creating a single, unbroken line through the heart of the night. My gaze drifts from the window to the carriage interior, this small, moving room we all temporarily call home, and I begin to think about light. Not the harsh, revealing light of day, but the gentle, curated light of the night. The light we choose to create to keep the utter blackness at bay. The light that signifies life. A few rows ahead, a young couple is asleep. They are not cuddled together in a cinematic embrace, but their connection is just as palpable. Her head rests on the high back of her seat, turned slightly towards him. His head has slumped forward, his chin on his chest. But their hands, resting on the shared armrest between them, are touching, just barely. The backs of their fingers are brushed against each other. It's a point of contact so small, so unconscious, yet it seems to anchor them both. In their shared sleep, they are a small island of warmth. They are carrying their own light with them. It's the light of a shared history, of inside jokes whispered in the dark, of arguments resolved and futures planned. It is a quiet, steady flame that burns between them, and even in sleep, they feel its warmth. I imagine their journey is a simple one, perhaps returning from a weekend away, a small adventure just for the two of them. They carry no grand drama, only the gentle, profound story of being together. Their joined hands are a silent conversation, a promise that even when asleep, even when lost in their own separate dreams, they are not alone. They will arrive together. The train crests a small rise, and for a moment the landscape opens up. In the distance, nestled in a shallow valley, is a small cluster of lights. A town. Not big enough to be a city, just a handful of scattered embers glowing in the vast, dark hearth of the countryside. I cannot see streets or houses, only the collective, gentle glow. It is a signature of humanity, a message in a bottle cast into the ocean of the night, that says, "We are here. We are living. We are dreaming." My mind begins to wander, to paint pictures in that soft glow. Who is awake in that town? There must be a baker, his hands dusted with flour, sliding the first trays of bread into a hot oven. The warm, yeasty smell is a promise of the morning to come, a small act of faith in the dawn. Perhaps a nurse is on her break at a small clinic, sipping tea under a fluorescent light, her thoughts on the patients sleeping down the hall. Her quiet vigilance is its own kind of lamplight. Maybe a young student is awake, a single lamp burning on their desk, the rest of the house dark and silent around them. They are poring over books, their mind on fire with ideas, building a future for themselves word by word, equation by equation. Each of those lights is a story. Each is a small universe of hopes and worries, of love and duty. From here, from my moving window, they all merge into one. A single, comforting constellation. We are passing them by, a silent witness to their unseen lives. And they, in turn, are unaware of us, this metal serpent gliding through their periphery. Yet, for a moment, we are all part of the same quiet night, connected by this cartography of lamplight. It reminds me of being a child, lying in bed. The deep, absolute darkness of my room could feel immense, terrifying. But the thin sliver of light from the hallway shining under my door was everything. It was a shield. It was a tether to the waking world, to the sound of my parents murmuring in the living room. It was proof that I was not adrift. That little line of light held back the entire ocean of darkness. It was the most powerful thing in the world. Now, as an adult, I find myself seeking out those slivers of light. The warm glow of a window seen from a winter street. The single, bare bulb of a porch light left on, a beacon for someone coming home late. The string of lights on a distant bridge. They are all echoes of that light under the door. They are all small monuments to hope, to connection, to the simple human act of pushing back the dark, not with a roar, but with a steady, quiet glow. The train itself is one of these beacons. Its windows are a ribbon of light moving through the sleeping land. For a farmer who happens to wake and look out his window, we are a passing mystery, a ghost of light in motion. We are a reminder that the world is larger than his fields, that life is always in motion even while he sleeps. My own small reading light is a part of this. A focused cone of soft yellow on the page of a book I have no intention of reading. It is enough just to have it there. Private sun. A small anchor in the vastness. My thoughts are beginning to drift, to lose their focus. The faces of the imagined baker and the nurse and the student begin to fade. The story of the young couple dissolves back into the simple image of their touching hands. The details are less important now than the feeling they leave behind. A feeling of quiet communion. A sense of being a small part of a vast, interconnected network of quiet, dreaming souls. The hum of the train is deeper now, or perhaps it is just that my hearing is softening, turning inward. The sway of the carriage is a slow, deep rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out. Each light we pass is a soft pulse. Each sleeping passenger is a silent companion. We are all just slivers of light, shining under the door of the night. And that is enough. That is more than enough. The darkness is not empty. It is just resting. It is waiting for the dawn, which is being baked in a warm oven in a small town I will never know. And with that thought, I let my own light go out and drift into the soft velvet dark. My gaze drifts upward, away from the liquid dark of the window and toward the long luggage rack that runs the length of the carriage. In the soft, ambient light, the collection of bags, coats, and cases takes on the quality of a sleeping dragon. It scales a patchwork of canvas, leather, and nylon. Each piece is a silent, self-contained world, a little capsule of a life, temporarily entrusted to the gentle rocking of the train. We think we are so mysterious, we travelers. We sit in our seats, wrapped in our private thoughts, believing we are anonymous. But our luggage tells our stories for us. It speaks in a language of scuffs and scratches, of carefully chosen fabrics and worn-out zippers. Long before we say a word, our belongings have already whispered a preface. There is a suitcase near my seat, an old warrior made of dark brown leather. It is from a time before lightweight plastics and spinning wheels. Its corners are rounded and softened by use, its surface a roadmap of journeys taken. A long, pale scratch near the handle might be from a careless baggage handler in Rome. A dark water stain on the top could be from getting caught in a monsoon in Thailand. Faded, peeling stickers hint at long-forgotten hotels in Paris and Prague. This suitcase does not belong to a tourist, it belongs to a traveler. Its owner must be the quiet, silver-haired gentleman sleeping across the aisle. He is not just carrying clothes in that case. He is carrying the weight of memories, the dust of foreign streets, the echoes of a dozen languages. That suitcase is his co-conspirator, his silent witness. When he touches its worn handle, he is not just gripping leather. He is shaking hands with his own past. In his dreams tonight, perhaps he is not here at all, but walking through a crowded market in Marrakesh, the scent of spices in the air, the weight of that familiar handle in his hand. A few feet away from that veteran case sits its opposite, a sleek, hard-shelled backpack in a matte gray finish. It is pristine, clinical, almost architectural in its design. There are no scuffs, no stains, no sentimental stickers. Its zippers are sealed against the weather. It speaks of efficiency, of purpose, of a journey focused on the destination, not the detours. Its owner is likely the young woman near the front of the carriage, the one with a laptop still balanced on her knees even in sleep. Her bag contains not memories but tools. A computer, a tablet, chargers, a neatly folded business suit. Her journey is about the future. A conference, a new job, a project to be completed. Her bag is not heavy with the past, but light with ambition. Its clean, unmarred surface is a blank page, waiting for its story to be written. It doesn't know yet if it will one day be caught in a monsoon or scratched on a Roman street. Its life is all potential, all forward momentum, just like the train itself. And then, nestled between a somber black briefcase and a bundled-up trench coat, is a small, bright red backpack. A cartoon rocket ship is stitched on the front pocket. It is so vibrant, so unapologetically joyful, it seems to emit its own light. It can only belong to a child. I see him, a little boy of 5 or 6, curled up against his mother, his face slack with the deep, untroubled sleep of the very young. What does his little rocket ship bag contain? A half-eaten bag of sweets, no doubt. A few mismatched building blocks. A favorite, well-loved dinosaur figurine, its plastic tail probably sticking out of the unzipped top. It holds no tools for the future, no souvenirs from the past. It holds only the glorious, messy, all-important present. It is a vessel of pure being, the most essential luggage of all. The journey for him is not about where he is going or where he has been. The journey is the rumble of the floor beneath him, the warmth of his mother beside him, the dream of flying his rocket ship through the swirling misty starscape outside the window. I look at my own simple bag stowed above me. It is neither a seasoned adventurer nor a pristine vessel of ambition. It is somewhere in between. A little worn but still sturdy. A little anonymous but mine. What story does it tell to a stranger's passing glance? Perhaps it tells a quiet story of returning home, of seeking rest, of a journey made not for work or for adventure, but for peace. We all carry two kinds of luggage. There are the bags we pack, the ones we can see and touch. And then there is the baggage we carry inside. The worries that weigh on our shoulders like a heavy coat, the hopes that feel as light and insubstantial as a silk scarf, the memories that are as dense and solid as a leather case. The train, in its wisdom, makes no distinction. It carries it all with the same steady rhythm, the same gentle sway. It asks for nothing. It simply moves forward, carrying our bodies, our belongings, and our burdens through the night. Perhaps sleep is the universe's way of allowing us to set it all down for a while. To check our invisible baggage with the gentle conductor of our dreams. The train rocks on. The wheels murmur their endless, soothing chant. Let it go. Let it go. The load is carried. You can rest. My thoughts grow heavy like well-packed bags. My consciousness begins to stow itself away, ready for the quiet, unburdened journey into sleep. It occurs to me as I watch the dark world stream past, that this train is a shuttle. A weaver's shuttle made of steel and light, moving steadily through the great loom of the landscape. Its purpose is singular, to carry one long, unbroken thread from a place that was, to a place that will be. The track is the warp, the taut, parallel lines that give the journey its structure. And the night itself is the cloth being woven, a vast tapestry of darkness and distance. We, the passengers, are not the weavers. We are simply carried along by the shuttle, part of the process. But we bring our own threads with us. Each of us is a spool of memory, of connection, of intention. Our threads trail behind us, stretching back to the homes we have left, to the people we love, to the lives we have paused for this small journey through the dark. I can almost see them, these unseen threads. They are as real as the rain on the glass, as tangible as the gentle vibration in the floor. They shimmer in the dim light of the carriage, a web of faint, luminous filaments connecting us all. There is a woman sitting diagonally from me. She is knitting. In the quiet, muted world of the carriage, her work is a small, vibrant rebellion. Her needles, long and wooden, click together with a soft, organic sound, a counterpoint to the metallic rhythm of the wheels. The sound is comforting, ancient. It is the sound of creation. The yarn she uses is a deep, impossible blue, the color of the sky just after the sun has vanished, but before the stars have truly taken hold. It spills from a cloth bag at her feet, a single unwavering thread that climbs into her lap and is transformed by the patient, rhythmic dance of her hands. She is not looking at her work. Her eyes are half closed, her gaze fixed on the dark window, but her hands know the pattern by heart. They move with a lifetime of practice, an easy, unthinking grace. What is she making? A scarf? A blanket for a new grandchild? The object itself feels less important than the act of its creation. She is weaving warmth and care into a physical form. With every loop and stitch, she is embedding a thought, a prayer, a quiet moment of her journey into the fabric. That blue yarn is not just wool, it is a thread of love made visible. Her personal, colorful thread is being woven into the dark fabric of the night, stitch by steady stitch. She is a weaver within the weaver's shuttle. Her quiet industry makes me think of my own threads, the ones that connect me to the world beyond this moving capsule. There is a thread that connects me to my oldest friend, a line of shared laughter and secrets that stretches across hundreds of miles. I know that if I were to pull on it now, in my mind, they would feel it somehow, in some small, inexplicable way. There is another thread, a thicker one that ties me to my family, a cord of duty and deep, complicated affection. And there are thinner threads, gossamer fine, that connect me to moments in my past. The memory of a sun-warmed stone wall, the taste of a specific meal, a line from a forgotten song. Tonight, on this train, these threads feel incredibly close. The motion, the isolation, the darkness, it all acts as a kind of amplifier. The background noise of daily life has been stripped away, and I am left with the pure humming resonance of these connections. They are what give my life its shape, its texture. They are the warp and weft of the person I have become. For a few hours, all of our threads, the knitting woman's, the sleeping businessman's, the young child's with his rocket ship backpack, my own, are gathered here. Our spools of experience are resting side by side. The shuttle of the train is weaving our stories together, creating a small, intricate, and temporary pattern. We are a fleeting, perfect knot of humanity, brought together by a shared trajectory through the night. Our threads cross and touch, running parallel for a little while. By morning we will have reached our station. The shuttle will stop, and we will each pick up our own thread and go our separate ways, the pattern dissolving as quickly as it was formed. And yet, it will not be gone entirely. Something of it will remain. We will have been part of the same small piece of the tapestry. The quiet woman's blue yarn will carry an echo of the train's rhythm. The businessman's dreams may have been subtly colored by the child's soft breathing nearby. My own thoughts have been shaped by the imagined stories of everyone around me. We are changed in some small, imperceptible way by the threads we have briefly touched. The clicking of the knitting needles has slowed. The woman's hands now rest in her lap, the half-finished work lying over them like a small, dark sea. Her eyes are closed now. She has surrendered to the shuttle's motion. I feel myself surrendering too. My thoughts, once so clear, are beginning to soften, to lose their distinct lines. The metaphor is becoming a feeling. I'm no longer just thinking about the threads. I am feeling them. I am a thread myself, being carried along, part of a pattern I do not need to understand. The rhythm of the loom is deep and hypnotic. The shuttle moves on. There is a profound peace in this. In knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be, held securely in the fabric of the moment, being woven, slowly and gently, into the quiet, boundless tapestry of sleep. I let my own thread go slack and let the darkness take me. The carriage has become a museum of sleep. Each passenger is an exhibit, a sculpture of repose, each one a unique study in the art of surrender. The lighting is low and reverent, as if designed by a curator to highlight the subtle beauty of stillness. The only sound is the hushed, ambient drone of the train and the soft, rhythmic breathing of the collection. I feel like a night watchman, making my slow, silent rounds through the galleries of slumber. My footsteps are imaginary, but my gaze wanders from form to form, observing, reflecting. This is not an invasion of privacy. It is an act of quiet appreciation. In sleep, we are stripped of our pretenses. Our carefully constructed daytime selves are dismantled, and what remains is something more honest, more vulnerable. There is the leaner. An elderly man, his body angled gracefully against the forward motion of the train. His head is propped against his hand, his elbow resting on the fold-down table. His face, etched with the fine lines of a long life, is completely placid. His sleep is a work of profound trust. He has given his full weight to the structures around him, the seat, the table, the train itself. He is not fighting the journey, he is a part of it. His posture suggests a quiet resignation, not of defeat but of acceptance. He has learned over many years that some things are beyond his control, and the wisest course is to lean into them, to find a point of balance and rest. A few seats away is the curled. A young woman, probably a student, has drawn her legs up onto the seat, her knees tucked toward her chest. Her coat is pulled over her like a shell. She has made her chair into a nest, a small, self-contained world of warmth and security. Her sleep is a retreat, a return to a primal state of safety. She has turned away from the world, from the vast darkness outside the window, and created her own small darkness. Her posture is one of defense, but also of self-care. She is protecting her own flame, keeping it safe from the drafts of the world. In the morning she will unfold, stretch, and face the day, but for now she is a tightly held secret. And then there is the slumper. A man in a crisp suit, his tie slightly loosened, has succumbed to gravity in the most direct way. His head has fallen forward, his chin resting on his chest, his arms hanging limp at his sides. His sleep is one of utter exhaustion. The day, or perhaps the week, has wrung him dry, and he has collapsed into himself. He is the image of depletion. Yet there is a strange dignity in it. He has worked until he could work no more. He has given everything, and now, in this moving sanctuary, he is finally fully at rest. The train is a cradle for the weary warrior of the modern world. His briefcase, full of reports and deadlines, sits forgotten at his feet, its power temporarily neutralized by the overwhelming need for restoration. I look at them, these masterpieces of unconsciousness, and I feel a sense of profound kinship. We are all so different in our waking lives, our ambitions, our worries, our loves. But in sleep, we are united in a shared vulnerability. We are all children again, in a way, needing to be rocked, to be carried, to be kept safe through the dark hours. My own posture, I realize, is the watcher. I am sitting upright, my head against the cool glass of the window, my body still, my mind quietly whirring. My sleep has not yet fully claimed me. I am still guarding the gates, observing the world. But my vigil is nearing its end. The exhibits in this museum are working their magic on me. Their stillness is contagious. Their peace is seeping into the air. The train itself seems to be a part of this exhibition. It is the largest sculpture of all, a long metal creature dedicated to the act of moving rest. It breathes a low mechanical sigh. Its joints click and sway with a slow hypnotic rhythm. It is the keeper of this collection, the vessel that allows for this temporary gallery of peace to exist. I think about all the museums of sleep this train has hosted over the years. The countless arrangements of limbs and heads, the infinite variations of slumber. The hopeful sleep of those heading toward reunion, the sorrowful sleep of those leaving a loss behind, the dream-filled sleep of children, and the dreamless, heavy sleep of the exhausted. The train holds all of these memories in its metallic bones. It is a silent repository of rest. My own eyelids are growing heavy, the curator's notes in my mind becoming smudged and illegible. I am ready to become an exhibit myself. I close my eyes, letting my head rest more fully against the window. I feel the last vestiges of my wakeful self begin to dissolve. I am no longer the watchman. I am just another piece in the collection. The gentle rocking is the only reality now, a slow, eternal rhythm. The museum is quiet. The sculptures are still. And I am finally, gratefully joining them in their silent, beautiful repose. The gentle rocking of the carriage has been my world for hours, a familiar, soothing motion. But now, in a moment of clearer consciousness between the waves of sleepiness, I become aware of something else. It is not the side-to-side sway but the forward pull. A constant, inexorable, quiet force, drawing us through the darkness. It is a feeling that originates somewhere beyond my perception, at the very front of this long metal creature. It is the engine. We are so content in our warm, dimly lit capsules, wrapped in our own thoughts and dreams. We are the passengers, the cargo. It's easy to forget that this journey is not passive. It is an act of immense, controlled power. Up ahead, unseen and unheard, save for a low, foundational hum that lives beneath the sound of the wheels, is the heart of the train, the engine, and within it, the driver. I try to imagine that small, solitary cabin. It must be a world away from this one. Here we have soft seats and muted lights, a world designed for rest. There, it must be a space of focused function. A small, dark room, filled with the faint, steady glow of dials and gauges, greens, ambers, soft reds. A universe of precise information reporting on speed, on pressure, on the health of the machine. The rain on the driver's window is not a soft, poetic tapping. It is a challenge, met by the steady, rhythmic sweep of a powerful wiper blade, clearing a path, keeping the view ahead sharp and true. There is a person in that room. A silent guardian we will never meet. Their face is illuminated from below by the console's glow. Their hands are steady on the controls. They are not looking at the sleeping countryside or reflecting on the nature of the night. Their gaze is fixed forward, on the twin steel ribbons of the track as they spool out of the darkness and into the focused beam of the headlight. They are the first to see every curve, every signal, every crossing. They are the tip of the spear, the first to greet the next moment. What do they see in their tunnel of light? Things we passengers will never know. The fleeting, bright green eyes of a fox, startled at the wood line. The ghostly form of a deer, frozen for a second before melting back into the trees. The patient, blinking lights of a signal, changing from red to green, granting us safe passage through a complex, invisible network. Their reality is one of constant vigilance, of a quiet, profound dialogue between human, machine, and the path ahead. Their solitude is different from ours. We are alone together, a small community of sleepers. Theirs is the solitude of command, of responsibility. Our peace is possible because of their focus. Our ability to let our minds drift, to sink into memory and dream, is a luxury afforded to us by their unwavering attention. They are the waking mind of our collective, sleeping body. Their journey is not one of introspection, but of navigation. And there is a deep, quiet heroism in that. This makes me think of the unseen drivers in my own life. The forces that have pulled me forward, whose steady hands I was not always aware of. The quiet sacrifices of parents. The unwavering belief of a teacher. The subtle guidance of a friend who saw a path for me that I could not see for myself. We all have these engines in our lives. People and circumstances that provided the forward momentum, that kept us on the track when we might have otherwise faltered. We travel through our days, often forgetting the immense, loving power that is clearing the path ahead. The train sounds its horn, a low, mournful, beautiful cry that cuts through the night. It is not a sound of alarm. It is a sound of presence. A declaration, I am here. I am moving. Make way. It is the driver's voice, the only way they can speak to the vast, sleeping world we are passing through. The sound hangs in the air for a moment and then is swept behind us, a gift to the empty fields. The deep hum from the front of the train feels different to me now. It is not just a mechanical noise. It is the steady beat of the engine's heart. It is a song of purpose, of relentless, reliable strength. It is a promise that we will be carried safely through the dark. A promise that while we rest, someone else is watching over us. I can feel that heartbeat in the floor, in my seat, in the bones of my own body. It is a deeply reassuring rhythm, a powerful lullaby. Steady now. Moving forward. All is well. There is a profound comfort in surrendering to this force, in admitting that I do not need to be the driver of every moment. I can let go of the controls. I can trust the path even though I cannot see it. I can trust the steady hand of the unseen guide. My thoughts are slowing, the images of the driver's cabin fading, leaving only the feeling of that deep, resonant hum. I am handing over my own vigilance. The engine's steady heart is strong enough to carry us all. It can carry my worries, my plans, my consciousness itself. I let the forward pull take me, not to a destination on a map, but to the quiet, trusting country of sleep. My eyes feel heavy, and the world outside the window has become a soft, indecipherable blur of motion and shadow. I turn my gaze inward into the warm, still air of the carriage. For a moment, my attention settles on the passenger sitting directly across the aisle from me. A woman, perhaps in her mid-30s. She is awake, but only just. Her stillness is not the stillness of sleep, but of deep contemplation. She is not reading, not listening to music. Her hands are resting in her lap, and her gaze is soft, directed toward the rain-streaked window but not seeming to see the landscape beyond it. Her focus is internal. She is on a journey of her own, one that is happening entirely behind her eyes. I find myself studying her face, not with a nosy curiosity, but with a kind of gentle wonder. A stranger's face is a landscape. In the dim light, I can see its topography, its history. There are faint lines around her eyes, smile lines, evidence of laughter and joy. They are like dry riverbeds that speak of a river that has often flowed. There is a small, faded scar on her chin, a tiny imperfection that makes her face more real, more interesting. It is a landmark from a forgotten fall in childhood, perhaps a small story written on her skin. Her expression is a complex weather system. There is a touch of melancholy in the slight downturn of her lips, a wistful quality that seems to resonate with the rainy night. But there is no bitterness there. It is a soft sadness, like the memory of a beautiful song that has ended. Yet, in her eyes, which are clear and deep, there is a current of strength, a quiet resilience. It is the look of someone who has known both sorrow and joy, and has learned to hold them both at the same time. Who is she? What story is she carrying so quietly in the seat across from me? Perhaps she is a musician, a cellist returning from a performance. Her hands, resting so peacefully in her lap, might be capable of drawing the most profound, heartbreaking melodies from four simple strings. The melancholy on her face could be the lingering echo of the music she just played, the emotional residue of pouring her soul into her instrument. She is returning to an empty apartment, the cheers of the crowd already a distant memory, left with only the quiet company of her own artistry. Or maybe she is a scientist, a botanist. She might have spent the week deep in an old archive, studying dried, centuries-old plant specimens. Her journey is a return from the past, from a world of dusty paper and the ghosts of vanished forests. She is carrying the quiet wonder of a newly identified species, or the sad knowledge of one that is lost forever. The look on her face is a reflection of that deep, patient work, of a conversation she is having with the silent, slow world of growing things. Then another story surfaces. What if she is simply returning from visiting her parents? Perhaps her mother is ill, and the journey has been one of duty and care. The sadness on her face is for the fading of someone she loves, and the strength in her eyes is the strength she has had to show for them. She is carrying the heavy weight of unspoken goodbyes, of a role reversal where she has become the caregiver. This train ride is her first moment of solitude, the first chance to let her own feelings surface, to simply be with the quiet ache in her own heart. It doesn't matter which, if any, of these stories is true. The act of imagining them creates a connection, a bridge of empathy across the aisle. It is a reminder that every face holds a universe. Every stranger is the protagonist of an epic saga, filled with triumphs, losses, quiet moments, and profound transformations. We sit beside each other, separated by a few feet of carpeted floor, but the distance between our inner worlds is immeasurable. The train provides a unique space for this kind of contemplation. The anonymity, the shared motion, it allows us to see each other not as roles, a banker, a student, a tourist, but as fellow souls in transit. For a few hours, we are just a collection of landscapes, of quiet geographies, moving through the night together. The woman shifts slightly in her seat, and her eyes meet mine for a fraction of a second. There is no alarm in her gaze, no suspicion, just a flicker of simple human recognition. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touches her lips, and she gives a tiny nod. I nod back. It is a silent, complete conversation. I see you. I see your journey. I wish you peace. Then she turns her head to rest against the seat back and closes her eyes. The landscape of her face softens. The complex weather system gives way to the calm, clear sky of sleep. The story is put away for the night. My own sense of wakefulness is dissolving. The gentle encounter has brought a sense of closure to my roaming thoughts. I feel a wave of quiet gratitude for this shared space, for the silent stories that fill it. We are all more alike than we are different. We all carry our own geographies of joy and sorrow. And we are all eventually bound for the same destination, a quiet place to rest. With that thought, I follow her lead, closing my eyes and allowing the motion of the train to carry me away from the world of faces and stories, and into the featureless, peaceful terrain of sleep. The train has been slowing for some time, its deep, mechanical heartbeat growing more deliberate, more distinct. The rhythmic click-clack of the wheels has spread out, each sound given space to breathe, to resonate. Without opening my eyes, I know we are approaching a more significant stop, a larger town or a small city. The oral landscape is changing. A draft of cool, damp air snakes its way through the carriage, a sudden, fresh intrusion into our warm, hermetically sealed world. Someone must have opened the door at the end of the car. The scent it carries is wonderfully clean, earthy, and alive. It is the smell of the night itself, the smell of rain on soil, on asphalt, on leaves. It is the smell of the world outside, and it is a welcome visitor. I inhale deeply, letting the scent fill my lungs. It's amazing how a simple smell can be so transportive. The taste of the air, for that is what it feels like, is a story in itself. It tells of the storm passing, of the earth drinking its fill, of a world washed clean. It cuts through the slightly stale, recycled air of the carriage and reminds me that our journey is not happening in a vacuum. We are moving through a living, breathing landscape, and for a moment, the barrier between inside and outside has dissolved. The train comes to a smooth, final stop. The cessation of movement is almost more powerful than the motion itself. The constant, underlying hum that has been the soundtrack to my thoughts for hours is gone. In its place is a profound silence, punctuated only by the soft sigh of the air brakes and the gentle, persistent dripping of water from the roof of the station. My eyes open slowly. We are bathed in the orange-yellow glow of platform lights. The rain has stopped, but every surface outside the window glistens, reflecting the light in 1,000 fractured points. The platform is wet and black, like polished obsidian. I can see our own carriage reflected in its surface, a mirror image of our warm, lit interior floating on a dark sea. A few people are stirring, gathering their things. The man with the old leather suitcase slowly, stiffly gets to his feet. The young woman with the sleek backpack is awake and alert, her laptop now stowed away. Their journeys, it seems, end here. They move with the quiet, purposeful slowness of those who have been sitting for a long time. There are no loud goodbyes, just the soft rustle of coats and the quiet click of a suitcase latch. I watch them step out onto the platform. They pause for a moment, taking in the cool night air just as I did. They are re-entering the world. Their time in this mobile sanctuary, this place between places, is over. They have arrived. I watch as they walk away, their figures shrinking under the station lights, their reflections moving with them across the wet ground, until they disappear into the station building. The train has delivered them. Its promise to them has been kept. A few new passengers get on. They bring the cool air and the scent of rain with them, shaking drops from their coats, their faces fresh from the outside. They find their seats with a quiet efficiency, stowing their bags, settling in for the next leg of the journey. The carriage is repopulating, the story is changing, a new chapter is beginning. For a moment, I feel a strange sense of loss for the passengers who left. Our silent, temporary community has been broken. We were a specific collection of souls, sharing a specific slice of time and space, and that exact configuration will never exist again. It is a small, gentle melancholy, the kind you feel at the end of a good book. But then the train gives a gentle lurch. A deep thrum signals the re-engagement of the engine. The doors hiss shut, sealing us back into our private world. And slowly, gracefully, we begin to move. The station slides away. The glistening platform, the warm lights, the building that swallowed our fellow travelers, it all recedes, becoming another memory, another station passed in the night. The rhythm returns. The click-clack starts its slow, steady acceleration, pulling us back into the comforting embrace of the journey. The world shrinks again, from the open space of the station back to the intimate confines of this carriage. The new passengers have already begun to succumb to the train's magic. A man is already leaning his head against the window. A young couple is murmuring softly to one another. The rhythm is reclaiming them just as it is reclaiming me. The brief interruption has served its purpose. It was a reminder that this journey will eventually end. It was a palate cleanser, the cool taste of rain clearing my mind, making me appreciate the warmth and motion all the more. It was a breath, a pause in the music, that makes the return to the melody all the more sweet. My own stop is not for a few more hours. I have more of this darkness to travel through, more of this peace to savor. I am grateful for that. I settle back into my seat, the memory of the clean, rain-scented air still lingering in my mind. It is a good taste to fall asleep on. A taste of a world that is quiet and clean and waiting patiently for the morning. I close my eyes once more and let the steady, familiar heartbeat of the train carry me deeper into the night. I don't think I was ever truly asleep, not in the way one usually thinks of it. Perhaps it was more of a long, deep dive, a submersion into the quiet, rhythmic world of the train, where thoughts are no longer sharp-edged but become soft, drifting currents. And now I am surfacing. Slowly, gently, without any sudden breach. It is not a sound or a movement that pulls me up, but a change in the quality of the darkness. It is no longer the absolute, ink-black dark of the deep night. The window is not a perfect mirror anymore. My reflection is fainter, a ghost receding into the glass, and behind it, a new world is being born. The darkness is diluting, like a drop of ink in a vast glass of water. It is turning from black to charcoal, from charcoal to a deep, slate gray. It is the first shy whisper of dawn. The rain has stopped. The world outside is still holding its breath. And as the light bleeds almost imperceptibly into the sky, the landscape begins to reveal its secrets. What was once a flowing abstraction of shadow is now resolving into forms. I can see the distinct silhouette of a line of trees, their bare branches a delicate, intricate filigree against the lightening sky. I can see the gentle curve of a hill, its shape soft and ancient. A field, silvered with dew, emerges from the gloom. It feels like watching a photograph develop in a darkroom. The image is emerging slowly, patiently from the chemical bath of the night. It is a world made new, washed clean by the rain, and presented as a quiet offering. There is no color yet, only 1,000 shades of gray, from the pearl-colored mist hovering in the low parts of the fields to the dark, wet trunks of the trees. It is a monochrome masterpiece, and we are gliding silently through its center. The atmosphere in the carriage has shifted too. The deep, collective slumber has lightened. It is no longer a museum of sleep, but a gallery on the cusp of opening. The elderly woman who had slept with such profound trust is awake. She is not gathering her things. She is simply looking out the window, her hands folded in her lap, a small, serene smile on her face. She is watching the dawn as if greeting an old friend. There is no anxiety in her posture, only a quiet readiness. Her journey is nearing its end, and she seems to be at peace with it, savoring these last few moments of transit. Across the aisle, the little boy with the rocket ship backpack is still fast asleep, curled against his mother. The coming of the day means nothing to him. His dreams are still full of stars and distant galaxies. His mother, however, is awake. She is not looking out the window but down at her son, her hand gently stroking his hair. Her expression is one of fierce, quiet love. She is his anchor, his safe harbor, and she has guarded him through the night. Now she watches over his final, precious moments of sleep before the day begins. The world is waking up, and so are we. The journey through the night was a journey inward. We traveled through our own memories, our own quiet stories, our own imagined landscapes. The darkness provided a sanctuary for that introspection. But the coming light is an invitation to turn our gaze outward once more, to see the world as it is, to be present in the day that is about to be born. The purpose of the long, dark journey was not to travel forever. It was to arrive here, at the threshold of a new day, rested, restored, and perhaps a little changed by the quiet alchemy of the night. We carried our burdens onto this train, the visible luggage in the racks and the invisible baggage in our hearts. The train carried it all without complaint, and the steady rhythm, the gentle motion, seems to have lightened the load. We are slowing, the now familiar sound of our approach. The final destination is near. I feel no rush to arrive, but no sadness that the journey is ending. Feels right. A natural conclusion, like the final, satisfying pages of a book. The first hint of color appears on the horizon. A faint, blush-pink line, drawn thin and sharp between the gray earth and the gray sky. It is a promise. The journey through the night is ending. But the day is another journey just beginning. I gather my own few things, my mind quiet, my body rested. The train slides into the station, its long exhalation of air a final, gentle sigh. The doors open, and the air that greets me is cool, clean, and full of the scent of morning. I step out onto the platform, onto solid ground. The journey is complete, and the day is waiting.